Carl, it is November, believe it or not, November 8th, and just kind of getting back in the swing of things. I was on vacation for a brief little time, actually, for almost 2 weeks, which was really, really nice. Went to Mexico, never been, and had a really great time in Puerto Vallarta. I tried to do the video and do all that stuff on my iPad. I said, I'm going to keep this up and do that, and I did it the first Wednesday we were there. Uh, I tried to keep up with the interview questions too, and I did that to varying degrees of success. But the I will say this: my setup here at home and my setup, at my desk, is far better than anything that I could do on my iPad. So I apologize for the video and for the way it kind of showed up last time. I decided that I was just going to take a break for last Wednesday and just kind of jump back into it this week. Um, this week, we're going to talk about something that I think is going to be really, really interesting, um, because I've seen it on the company side, but I had never seen it on, the candidate side. And that is this, a bias um, on the industry. So a lot of time, what I mean by a bias on the on the industry is this. Uh, Specifically, it's the I want somebody with our industry experience because they get us, they understand us, they know that what we're going through. They know the ins and outs. The thought process behind it is this. The thought process is if they understand the industry, they understand what we do, their time to come up to speed will be that much quicker. The learning curve will be shorter. And to a certain extent, that may be so. But the truth is, when companies do this, they're actually limiting themselves and limiting the prospective candidates that they have. The other thing that they're limiting is a diversity of ideas. I've saw this a lot in my HR career where, it's like I want somebody with industry experience, or I want somebody who went to the same school I did, kind of thing. And what you run into the issue of same think. Everyone thinks the same because everyone has the same background. They don't have diverse ideas. They don't come from diverse industries where there might be an opportunity in the industry that you're in to make some changes and be innovative. So the innovation kind of falls to the side. Now, again, like I said, this is kind of common in on the business side of things. When companies go and they do this, we're really looking for somebody who has this kind of this experience. And oddly enough, right before I went away on vacation, I actually did a few um, kind of like, I wouldn't say Q&A. It was kind of like presentations for a company called Go Brunch. It is the company that I use for my meetings and you know, for my webinars and things like that. And it's a great little company. Again, I like to give the little companies a little bit of love here too, kind of thing. And, I use it as an alternative to Zoom. And one of the things that's great about the platform that I use is it actually gives me an opportunity to set up group rooms, and I can hold kind of a virtual office kind of thing. Um, when I did this presentation, I did about kind of the things that people need to do to kind of get their careers on track and kind of make changes in their career trajectory. And there was actually somebody in one of the groups that I was actually speaking, one of the participants, and they were like, you know, were very much They worked in the tech industry, and they very much had that same feeling in the sense that, things are different for us in tech. So the things you're saying, yeah, that might be good for whatever you're doing or for whatever industry that you've worked in, but in our industry, that doesn't work. And I found it to be really, really interesting because I had never experienced it on the other side. I never experienced it from a candidate standpoint in the sense of that they would have a bias in saying, hey, you know what, anything that I do and you know, anything that I do in this industry is so unique that whatever you're telling me, it's not going to work. And I found that really, really strange. Now, here's the thing. I've been very blessed in my career, my very long career, that I have been able to work in various industries. And I've worked for some really, really good companies. I've worked in tech, I've worked in finance, I've worked in insurance, I've worked in oil and gas. And I've all seen those biases when I've worked for those industries, and I've experienced them myself when I was a candidate going for those jobs. We're really looking for somebody with this type of experience who has worked in our industry. And the struggle always is, how do you overcome a bias on experience in an industry that you may not have? And the truth is, the way you do that is you talk about transferable skills, or you make a connection in saying, okay, I understand in your industry there are these types of things that go on. I have similar experience because we have very similar experiences in the industries that I've come from. And I was kind of shocked. I was kind of taken back that this person, again, was saying, well, what you're saying sounds all fine and good, but it doesn't work for my industry. Well, here's the truth. Everyone thinks their industry and what they do is special, unique, that only if you are in the club you understand. And yes, there are some idiosyncrasies that are with various industries. But that limiting belief of saying, hey, that doesn't work, or that doesn't work in my industry, is just wackadoodles. And the truth of the matter is, the fundamentals, the basics, never change. So when I talk about somebody about having a resume that is, you know, 1 to 3 pages in length, yes, times do change and they move a little bit. But when I say you need to have a resume that's 1 to 3 pages, there's a reason for it. And the reason for it is, from an HR standpoint, if you have it much longer, people aren't going to look at it. Okay? The other part of it is, when you put the information in your resume, and especially you tech people, a lot of times what ends up happening is you put in your tasks. You put in the things that, honestly, it's like a laundry list of your day-to-day responsibilities. I did this, I did this, I did that. But you never talk about the impact that those things had to the business. That's how you get the transferable skills. The things that I did impacted the business in this way. Then people in other industries can understand. When it comes to interviewing, it's the same thing. You need to give complete pictures. And when you give complete pictures, the complete picture is, here's what I've done. Here is the situation. Here is the task. This is the outcome. This is how it went. And then the other thing that you can do is this. If you do your research, if you do all the things that you're supposed to be doing to get ready for your interview and not winging it, which 90% of you guys do, and be honest, that's what you do. You kind of just roll on up and yeah, hey, I got this. But the truth is this. If you've done your research and you get an understanding of what makes that industry tick, then you can start to connect dots for people. Then you can start saying things like, I understand in this industry, I got an understanding of what happens here. You're halfway there. That these are the things that happen, or these are prevalent. And I've had similar experiences working in the industry I'm coming from. And this is how they line up. This is how the dots connect. And this is how my experience, and this is what my projects and what I've done all align to solving the problem that you currently have. I may have attacked it in a different way, but I've solved the problem that you're looking to solve. So here's the thing, and here's what I'm going to tell everyone is this. The companies out there, they're going to have those biases no matter what. And you're going to have to overcome those biases when you interview and when you network and you do those things. You need to show that you're part of the club. Do not limit yourself in the way that they are limiting you already. You're already taking yourself out of the game even before you've gotten into it. So if there is an industry that you have not worked in and there's a job that's interesting for you, go after it. Do your networking. See if you can track down who the manager is. See if you could get some FaceTime instead of being passive about it. Connect the dots for them. Hold their hand. Take them down the path so that they can understand the value you bring. And that is the important thing to remember. Do not limit yourself because there are going to be people out there that are going to try to hold you back. Now, I've been talking now for the last 13 minutes or so. I'm kind of the end of my little diatribe here. So one of the things I'm going to share with you is this. We are the beginning of November. We're coming up to Black Friday, and we're coming up to all those great things. And I will tell you this, me, like everyone else, I do run specials on Black Friday for, I guess the best way to put it is, the things that I offer. So coming the week of Thanksgiving all the way up to the 29th. So I think it's the 20th to the 29th. I'm holding a special sale. Okay. It's my Black Friday sale. I'm doing 50% off my online classes. So that is, the hiring season essentials. And then also on the individual meetings. If you scan that QRC code, it'll take you to my website and a big pop-up. It'll be, it'll be big yellow. You can't miss it. And you'll be able to go and you will be able to sign up for the classes and you will be able to sign up for individual meetings and get 50% off. Now, again, it only starts on the 20th and runs to the 29th. So if you know somebody that is struggling, this may be a great gift for them. If you know somebody that needs some help, this may be a great way to do that. So with that said, scan the code, do all that. The other thing is this. If you want to find out more about what I do and how I do this one-on-one with people, you can go up here in the corner, right up there. You can scan and you can book a meeting directly with me. Now, the introductory meetings are 100% free. I want to know a little bit more about you. I always like to find out if I honestly can be of help and of service to a person before I go in and say, hey, yeah, I can do this and take your money. And I will tell you, have I gone and said to people, I can't help you? Yeah. It's far and few between, but sometimes people are just not in the right space and at the right place to do the kinds of work that we do. And I know it sounds harsh, it sounds cruel, but the truth of the matter is you need to be engaged. So if you want to find out more about me, find out more about what I do, click up here, just scan that code, and let's have a chat. So with that said, have a wonderful rest of your week. At 3 o'clock, there should be another interview question coming up. If you have not seen all of them, you can go on LinkedIn, you can go on Facebook, you can go and you can see all the history. I think we're up to question like 40 now. So there's 40 questions where I kind of break them down and tell the kind of the philosophy behind it and kind of how I would approach the answer to it. So if you have interviews coming up, it may be a great place to start to get some ideas on how to answer these questions that you will inevitably be asked and understand why you're being asked those questions. So with that said, I will see you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in and have a wonderful rest of